Hello, it's RevKess again. Gonna try not to be quite as long-winded as I was last time, but I want to clarify a couple of points before it all gets blown out of proportion. So, I'm gonna do a couple of videos here. First, let's talk about Druidry. Now, I'm not a Druid by any stretch. I don't claim to be, have never claimed to be, or anything like that. I do know several Druids, uh, both in the Americas and in Europe. From two different druid groups, if you will, the OBOD, the Order of Bards, Ovates, and Druids, that's in Europe and also in the United States, as well as Androchfin, or the ADF, the American Druid Federation, if you will, which was founded by Isaac Bonowitz, who later left Druidry and just practiced witchcraft as a pagan. Now, Druids are druids. They're not necessarily witches. They are pagans, at least by the modern definition of that. And even by the old Christian definition of it, because, well, Christianity kind of destroyed druids in the Dark Ages, early Dark Ages. But, yeah, so they're back now. For, 150 years, give or take. I'm not exactly sure on the timeline there, but the OBOD is a Reconstructionist group, just like the ADF. So they don't claim to have an unbroken lineage to ancient Druidry. They have taken what they can from the writings of those few Druids who survived, who became monks, and recorded their history, but couched it in Christian terms, so that they wouldn't get unalived by the church. So a lot was lost. Now there may be some small factions that managed to survive for the centuries, but they had to hide everything, so we've lost a lot that way too. So modern Druidry is a Reconstructionist religion, and like I said, Druids are not necessarily witches. Witchcraft is a practice. Druidry is a religious practice. A little bit of a difference there. So, not all Druids are witches. And that was the point I was trying to make in that live that I was in earlier today, very briefly. So, yeah. You can look things up. Ronald Hutton, I believe, would be a good source for you to look at. You could go with a very scholarly source and look at Margot Adler's Drawing Down the Moon, which has a section on modern Druidry. And just remember, separate your facts from fiction. Unfortunately, a lot of the books from the 60s, 70s, and 80s were based on influential works by people who were not given full access to the histories and the anthropological studies and all of that. So, yeah, take it all with a grain of salt. Maybe I'll touch on that part of things too in another video. But in the meantime, remember, if I know you, I love you. If I don't, well, too bad.